and the Steve Young Report is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of White Plains. Well, you look better in person than you do on TV.
Were you panicked?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
How did that time up?
Perfect.
Well, you're 6 minutes late.
What do you mean? You just come off a break. Boom, I'm here.
Yeah, you know,
what
you're
else do you
right.
want?
Now, before we even start, Don and I are both wearing ascots, so you can feel comfortable.
You guys are.
Yeah.
How did you wrap it? Did you tie it?
Michael did it, and he obviously
And
made
then
us
we
look
got
nicer.
you one in case you want to wear one
it's
later
like
on.
It matches your outfit.
Yeah,
Oh, look
matches
at
your
See,
outfit.
it is like a no.
Yeah.
That's a cummerbund. That's not a.
It's an ascot.
It is.
Yes,
Now,
and now also,
Oh, I see.
Now,
Yeah.
Woodson get upset if you were? Do you think you were mocking him?
well, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think. I honestly don't think he cares.
Really?
He's in.
Very secure.
He's in. Very secure.
Yeah.
You
Also,
can't-
because I promised, I drove up to Greenwich.
Oh, look at this!
This
I
is from
forgot
Pizza
about that.
Post Chicken Parmesan Hero.
1 p.m. Is that all right?
1 p.m. I got it. It's been wrapped. It's all good.
It's going to make it till tomorrow. That's the best. You came through every. I've never come up with a promise with you guys. I've always faded.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm coming by. Don't worry. I'll see you when I'm in New York.
Right,
and
never do.
Fade.
Never do. You
Fade
stay at
every
some
time.
fancy hotel. We never
Oh,
see
right.
it.
Okay. Don't even. Don't.
All right,
We're not
let's
going
start with the Giants yesterday. We've been saying this from the start of the show. We shouldn't be surprised because this is the way the Giants
I know.
have played.
I know.
And they kind of played the way they played against the bad teams. This is a better team, and they lost.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, and I think that it's clear that the Steelers' kind of emotion coming off of their kind of lackluster performance at home from a couple weeks ago, and they rallied and answered, and you can see that the Giants don't have the answer back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like there's teams that they get into those dogfights, and then they have they got other gears and they can get into, and it's just we keep wanting and wishing for all those pieces to come together. And even last week I kept saying, this is how the Giants do it. Start rushing the passer. Eli's going to get, they don't have a running game, but with that hole we talked about last week, with that hole, it's still okay. And it's not okay. So I was hoping that the Giants could upset the Cowboys and go win the division, not win the division, but get into the playoffs, beat the Cowboys, do something, with January. And so, I mean, this is football's weirder and weirder every year because you don't know who people are until January a lot of times. Mm-hmm. You keep thinking, I know this team. I know what these guys are going to do. And then, people turn the corner and all of a sudden it's something different. So just from week to week, last week the Giants, I was for sure that they were going to be somebody to reckon with.
Now, last week Eli actually apologized to Sterling Shepard for not targeting him against Cleveland. No targets for Victor Cruz this week. So is it the offense just gearing it towards Odell, or is that literally the only option that Eli has when he drops back to pass?
No, I mean, it's when Jerry Rice, we were always there was a section for Jerry Rice. And so when he didn't get a football in the first quarter and a half, all of a sudden there's like the whisper, oh, we got to get him the ball because, he's got to for a lot of reasons, right? And so,
But is one of the reasons ego that you'll lose him?
Yeah,
Really?
not lose, but it just gets people involved. It was somebody, if you didn't get involved, it just got it would devolve, right? And so it was always a little unnatural. And I don't know if it was the best way to attack it, to be honest with you. It's almost like, look, let's just go play. If the quarterback's screwing up and not finding you because you're open, you're not getting the ball, that's a problem. Let's go fix that problem. But if I'm just playing through the plays and somehow that's just not ending up in your spot, people just have to keep playing because inevitably great players, especially third, fourth quarter, defenses start to break down. Also, you can catch 100 yards of balls if you just keep going. And so I think that you can there's no question that OBJ has. Maybe you can say he on purpose, or maybe as I always call myself an idiot savant, but kind of like just by the nature of his personality has drawn the coaches and the whole place and even the whole stands, right? Give him the ball because we want it to be good and we don't want him to go south. And so I think that it feeds on itself, and it's a problem because then Victor Cruz doesn't get a ball, and that's just not good for the whole kind of the holistic part of the offense. You got to know that it's going to come your way and everyone's going to fight and play hard. That's the best offenses in the world.
We've seen this act before with the Giants, Steve, and it was with Jeremy Shockey, who has such a big personality. If he didn't get the ball, I think he intimidated Eli. And I'm starting to worry that Odell might be sucking the life out of the room in that way.
It's very possible. Odell's going to have to take care of that. He's going to have to make it okay. He's going to have to be, and I think he can come over the top of this in time. I see him maturing and getting. You may laugh at that, but I feel like he can come in the future and go, look, don't worry about me, I got it. But the truth is, they say that receivers, but they don't mean it.
Right.
Yeah, get me the ball. And so I think, Michael, you're onto something because it can start to kind of corrode an offense where you're not nearly as explosive because you kind of have an eye over here and you force it and it doesn't work and then you get a little bit overwrought and then it feeds into something else rather than just playing great football.
All right, we could put to bed the division, put to bed that they're in the conversation among the elite teams. But at 8-4, with the competition around them, Tampa, Atlanta, Washington, Minnesota, Green Bay, are they good enough to hold those teams off and get in?
Honestly, you can't imagine they can't rise up and play a great game. Eli throw 3 touchdowns, and all of a sudden they're making big plays and defense. I mean, yes, we've seen it, but it's just up and down. To your point earlier, yeah and no, and that's true for name all the other teams that are. I mean, the championship game is set, right? It's Oakland and New England and Seattle and Dallas, but. It's not, but it feels set. But you know it's not, and there's a bunch of teams. There's a handful of 7-8 teams. Kansas City, even Denver. Like you said, Washington, up and down, Green Bay. Just people, good quarterbacks that got some guys around that can be good.